watching a different show. It's donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, Z? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back. Dude, this chat is out of control. I just feel like the collective maturity level of this chat just goes down. The more years we're together, it's like we're maturing backwards. We're getting more immature. The longer we do this and the older we all get, the less mature we become. I wouldn't want it any other way. It's a special group. It's a special group for sure. Welcome in, welcome back, folks. Notre Dame lands Teddy Gerrard. Let's talk about that. There's some Notre Dame nuance in there with Teddy Gerrard. Some things I'm thinking about here. Some of you guys have hit on them. And also a question for the chat or anybody that wants to call is who needs to step up to make 25 work? And I don't mean the quarterback. That's too obvious. I'm not even including that. That's its own world, its own galaxy. I don't want to talk about that. That part's obvious. Other parts of the team, what do you need to see jump out at you, or an individual player or a certain position group that has something to prove that you need to see guys step up? I'm open to any of that today. Anything you think, who needs to step up to make 25 work? And then we'll get into the Teddy stuff too. So welcome in. We're gonna have a little fun. We got to talk about rough. It's a rough 80s and early 90s kids, man. It's been a rough week. You have lost 3 of your staples that you culturally that you kind of grew up with. Man, it's just like it's a rough go for the nostalgia of that time frame in American culture. Man, it's just kind of rough. How would I know, crying? It could be a million reasons. How would I know? So I don't know. It is did Johnny just say a quarterback from a galaxy far, far away? Teddy Gerrard, I think the guy, does he even got a driver's license? I mean, isn't the film everybody's going off of sophomore film? And it's not the guys this year. It's not going to be the guys next year. It's the year after that. Man, I just hope I don't stroke out long enough to see the guy put on a gold helmet. Son of a buck. It's just wild. It's wild, man. When you think about, and then you think about the development that could occur from a guy's sophomore film till he gets to college. There's a lot that could happen physically. That's when guys go through a growth spurt. You're going to see how big the guy gets and how he fills out. Like, I guess things could go good or bad. He could mature on an upward trajectory the other 2 years or whatever, or he could, I don't, what happens if the guy just gets worse? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of wild, man, how much you got to think about as a coach and what you got to navigate and how you got to recruit a few years out and look down the line. It's just really wild. You guys are putting in some really good chat stuff. I got to give you guys credit. We do the immature, funny inside jokes and the vague references, the inappropriate thing that I love. And everybody, that's my maturity level. I love some of it. But every time I have these little bullet points in my mind and I get down here a little early to set up the show, man, you guys nail a lot of the stuff that's either on my bullet points or in my brain. You guys are on it. And that makes me feel good. Like I'm thinking of things the right way, or at least the way other people are seeing it, asking some of the questions. You guys are done a really good job all summer of like, here's these things in my head. I want to see what you think. And I log in and there you are writing it down. It really is. It's pretty awesome. So I think you guys are right on it, and I appreciate it. Callers, we're gonna get to you. That's for darn sure. So let's get into this. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. It really does help. It tells YouTube, hey, people like what this dummy's saying. Spread it out to more people. Get it out there. So I appreciate that. Notifications on that way you're alerted every time something weird happens in Notre Dame land. The notifications are good on a day like yesterday where you're posting a video at an odd time because of a commitment that happens at a weird time, and then you get alerted on your phone, and then you tell your boss, I don't have time to work. John's got a video out. I'm taking a break. CNEP, Dr. John, the dong. All you guys are great. You guys are great. Twitter, search bar, always Irish, or always Irish. Emails, always IrishND@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it. You can get it if you don't want to see my stupid face. God bless you. Nobody can blame you for that one, man. How do you think I feel looking at my stupid face 20 times a week, editing these videos and doing all this stuff? I got to look at myself way more than I ever wanted to. Notre Dame on SI, read all about Irish life. I'm sitting in the stall with my headphones on. Thanks for letting me know that. I'm glad. Spare me the play-by-play. I'm just glad you're watching or listening. Notre Dame on SI, read all about it, man. We got articles for you every day. So check it out. Patreon.com/always Irish. It's the dream team, baby. Yeah, the deuce is loose for sure, wherever Irish life is. I should be more mature than that, yet I am not. It's just not. You're 40 years old. I'm 40 years old, and my maturity level's reverting. It's great. It's absolutely great. Oh, crying. There is a market for that vintage stuff. It is pretty cool when you go in there and they have all the Rockney stuff in there. Like, it's actually a pretty cool place if you go there. You could, if you're a Notre Dame diehard and you like the history, you could spend every dollar you have in that place buying all the old vintage stuff they have. It's pretty cool. If you're addicted to Notre Dame and you like the history, you could spend all your money in that place. It is a pretty kind of a cool museum type place with the old Notre Dame stuff. Yeah, Patreon. Listen, you guys, we got an all-star team. So I appreciate all the love for the Tim Ide episode. People loved that dynamic. Full time, we got myself, we got Goolsby, Gerrard Clark, an offensive expert, a defensive expert, and I got ND Recruiting 01 that he is all over the recruiting all the time, Jack Sullivan. So thanks to everybody that's joined. We're building momentum. There's more people jumping in. It's the final ramp to camp. So thanks for everybody involved. Okay, first things first. Just a tough, I'm mentioning it, just a tough week for like late 80s, early 90s people. Theo Huxtable drowns, Ozzy dies, and then Hulk Hogan. It's just, man. And with Ozzy and Hulk, I have an affinity for one-offs. I have an affinity for people that are just one of a kind. There's nothing else like them. There's nobody else like them. Like, those people just don't come every day in the world. It's tough to lose some one-of-a-kind cultural icons. And I'm not acting like I've been at Ozfest. Do I look like an Ozfest kind of guy? Like, come on, man. I'm going to the Doobie Brothers and Michael McDonald concert in a month in Tinley Park. Do I look like an Ozfest guy? So I'm not even acting like I'm listening to that music growing up and that's like my stuff I'm putting in the car driving around town. I'm not. I'm just saying I totally have an affinity and a respect for these weird personalities that make it all that are just one-off. And so it's just kind of tough. And then I saw the video of Hulk Hogan's neighbor lady or whatever walking the dog, and she puts her phone and aims it over at Hulk's house, and they're bringing him down in the stretcher, and there's 12 guys pumping on the guy. Man, that's just tough. That's just tough stuff. So I don't know, man. It's just that's rough. Somebody said, "Who's next?" Willie Nelson. No. A smoke a day will keep the Grim Reaper away, baby. As long as you ever hear Snoop talking about hanging out with Willie Nelson, and Snoop's like, "There's only one guy I couldn't keep up with in the rotation, and it was Willie Nelson at 89 years old." A smoke a day will keep the Grim Reaper away. That's what Snoop and Willie Nelson said. Good enough for me. Good enough for me. I remember Snoop being like, I couldn't keep up with the homie. He was past, I couldn't keep up with him. So I think Willie's the kind of guy, once he stops, he'll die. Like, so he should just keep doing what he's doing. Keep doing what he's doing. Yeah, maybe he had to lay off the smoke. I don't know, but I thought it was hilarious seeing Snoop talk about that. Yeah, Keith Richards, it's amazing. Some of these guys. And the other part of it, you guys, is he has emphysema. Yeah, no kidding. How could you not? Doing what he did the last 70 years. How could you not have emphysema? The other thing I think about is the lifestyle that Ozzy and Hulk had, similar in a way, but totally different in a way. Think about it. The bulk of their prime on the road in a different city, traveling all the time, like the partying and the rock and roll lifestyle. And then some of the, let's be honest, nobody's going to tell me Hulk was clean. Everybody knows that the WWF went through the thing where they got in trouble with Congress for the roids and all that. But like, the lifestyle these guys led in their prime, it doesn't lend itself to a healthy, balanced, full, expansive life. It just, all the travel and all of the it's just a different world those guys lived in. And so the devil's dandruff. You guys are good, man. You guys are good. But it's really interesting to think about the life these guys led. And I just I saw Wiz Khalifa in Noblesville. Was that big tour that had Snoop and him, and it was a big tour and they traveled around and it was a bunch of guys. It was at that tour, because I might have been at one of those too, and it was a cloud. And I definitely did not fit in. I'm like, can I just hear some old Snoop's old stuff? And all the young kids were like, it wasn't my scene. I was too old. It wasn't my scene, but I tried to go. And so anyways, I don't know, man. It's just the nostalgia thing hits you. And this will make me watch like some documentaries about Ozzy and Hulk. I like going back. Now I'll seek it out and watch some of the documentaries about these guys did all this. No, the Up in Smoke tour was like 2000. It was like 20 years before Wiz Khalifa was alive, I think. Yeah, that was me. How do you do, fellow kids? Can a brother hear Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style album? No? Okay, I guess I'm old and I'm here for no reason, because I don't understand any of the words in any of these other songs by any of these other people. The Up in Smoke tour was a good one, though. They had a lot of that was really good stuff. The Rotate, $20 hour. Thank you very much. Thank you very. I never liked pro wrestling. Well, Jerry Reinsdorf. The other thing is, there is a reason that like The Undertaker and Stone Cold do better numbers on their podcasts now than the WWF, WWE, or whatever does in real life. Like, seriously, I would rather YouTube The Undertaker and Stone Cold talking about the Attitude Era than I would ever watch whatever the crap product is now. It's so formulaic. There's no personalities that seem genuine. There's no juice. I can't watch it at all. I have no interest, none. So I'd rather watch those guys talk about the old days when we were all growing up. And yeah, what did Franklin say? Oh, give me a break. Franklin and Signetti just need to shut up. Franklin and Signetti just need to shut up. Just go play football. Just shut up. I'm sick of it. They both just run their mouth, and it's just whatever. And I understand I could be in for a rude awakening because a lot of people have belief in Penn State. a lot of people have belief in Penn State. And so I understand why every time I tell Franklin to shut up, somebody messages me, look at all the production they have returning, and they have those running backs and the quarterback, blah, blah. I'm not saying I don't understand why people are optimistic about Penn State. I'm just saying I'm sick of hearing about it and seeing about it. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to tell me the reasons why. I know. I'm just annoyed. You don't have to tell me why people think they might be good. I'm sick of hearing about it. And I'm sick of Franklin running his stupid mouth. And I'm sick of Signetti running his stupid mouth. So whatever, man. The V1 rotate, $20 holler. O-line news to make holes for love. Needs to make holes for love and protect Carr. Make people defend us. Spit it out, idiot. Make people defend us straight up. They might be the most supported group all year. D-line, pretty close second. It's true. Think about it. Everything you rotate, good $20 holler because you pretty much have everything you need to address. The defense overall, Mills and Cross, man. That just baseline level of production you knew you were going to get out of those two guys in that defensive front. And you got to replace that with consistency. You got that to think about. And then everything you want to talk about as a fan offensively, does it not start and end with the offensive line? When you want to talk about easing the new quarterback in and protecting his blind side, like the movie and all this stuff, and which was a big deal, by the way, for me to go see that movie and see Lou in it. That was a big, I enjoyed the hell out of that just to see Lou in a movie. I just loved it, man. But whether you want to talk about making that young quarterback successful in the pass game and feeling comfortable back there, the O-line has a lot to do with it. The other thing I see a lot of Notre Dame people say is, well, you got to run the ball with Love and Price or whatever you're going to do, and whoever the third guy's going to be, you got to run the ball. The Blind Side movie with Michael Orr, and they showed his recruitment, and Saban and all those guys were in the movie trying to recruit the guy. They had cameos. I enjoyed that. And so it's like, well, if you want to protect this young quarterback, you just run the ball and give it to Lover. But yeah, I need the offensive line to be good enough for that too. So like this all has to work together. Ryan Hughes, Mike Goolsby agrees with you. Mills had zero vision. Goolsby talks about that all the time. Some plays where Mills was literally running around looking for where the ball was and had no idea, whatever. But overall, you got to admit there was a level of consistency there with those two guys that you thought you could rely on. And so I don't know. It's just interesting. There's all these moving parts, and it makes me wonder, does it all have to be at a certain level to be productive here, or could certain areas kind of carry the weight while other areas are trying to catch up a little bit? I don't know. And so it's just, and this is the most Notre Dame-iest thing that could happen. I was thinking about this morning. I'm getting ready, drinking my coffee. Notre Dame has a way of finding themselves in these moments that just seem bigger than life with circumstance, not always just on the paper, but Notre Dame seems to find themselves in these moments that seem bigger than what the moment is. You're playing Miami, and that's already a huge thing, and you're playing A&M after that, which is a huge thing. And you have all of these questions. Of all the years to start with the Miami and A&M, it's a year where you're going with the young quarterback and no one knows what you're going to get. What are the odds? All these different years and how the quarterbacks line up, and are you going to get a transfer? And last year we had a guy that had a lot of experience and whatever. It's just so Notre Dame to me that you end up with the biggest storyline you could possibly have at any moment. And it doesn't get any bigger than this. All eyes in America are looking at this. Oh, by the way, special treat. I think we're going live tomorrow night. Saturday night special, baby. Saturday night special. Leonard Skinner style. Ronnie Van Zant. By the way, Ronnie Van Zant's another one. One of those one-offs where there's not anybody else like Freddie Mercury's one of them too. A total one-off that you're sad to see go. I loved Ronnie Van Zant as a front man for Leonard Skinner. He had the whole look, he was the ultimate showman. I love Ronnie Van Zant. Unfortunate that the plane took a dump there and crashed into Brian Kelly's backyard in a swamp in Louisiana. And that was the end of Ronnie Van Zant right in his prime. Yeah, Prince too. I just like these guys that are once not even a generation, once in like 100-year personalities. I always love people like that. I respect that. So anyways, we are going to try and go live tomorrow night. The wife is on emergency call at the hospital. We need to hope nobody gets shot or stabbed during the window of time. I want to do that live show so that I don't have to watch my daughter. If she gets called in, they got to be there in 15 minutes to do a surgery and save somebody. And on a Saturday night, it's usually gunshots and stab wounds. So hopefully, maybe, can I get the people of the local area to just chill out on the violence, at least till I'm done? Feel free at 10 o'clock, go for it. But can a brother get from 8 to 10 without any injuries? They get 15 minutes to get in there and prep for a surgery. And it's usually who gets shot on a Saturday night? A lot of people. Depends where you're hanging out at, quite frankly. I think we're shooting for 8 o'clock. We're shooting for 8 Central. I'll put the alert up. So plan on that and we'll have a good time. We'll have a good time. Yeah, Penn State beat. They always rely on those first couple games in the playoff to justify like James Franklin's mythical status as a brilliant coach or whatever. Man, everybody knows Penn State had the easiest run to where they got by far. Is anybody going to deny that they had the easiest run? Now, you got to give them credit because they delivered in those bright lights. But I mean, let's be honest. They had the easiest run by far to get to where they did in the playoffs. So, like, I guess you got to give them a little credit for doing it. But man, that's tough. I saw a guy defending Penn State, a Penn State beat writer, something defending them on Twitter. And he was like, yeah, I know he made a big mistake against Ohio State and Notre Dame. But did you see what he did to the Minnesota defense? Bro, nobody cares what you did against Minnesota defense. Come on. 8 o'clock Central is what we're going for tomorrow night. Mr. Saturday Night Special. 8 o'clock. $10 holler at him. Hey, John, it's officially the dog days and time to get serious about football. I've been saying that since like May. I've been saying the dog days since like early May. Honor Angela. Thanks a lot, Adam. I can't wait to see you soon. Angela, on our way to take the kids to Noah's Ark at the Dells. I thought you were going to say the original Noah's Ark. That's going to be some archaeological journey. I was like, oh, man, they're going to find, like you would talk about Angela, the kids, you want to do something before school starts up? Yeah, where do you want to go? We're going to find Noah's Ark, and we're digging it up, and we're looking for animal skeletons to prove the story's real. I like it. I like it. The Big Ten is an overrated conference, super top heavy. It's really interesting now. I feel like with these expanded SEC and expanded Big Ten, some teams in the schedule rotation get nailed and other teams end up hitting it pretty light where you have like 1.5, maybe real games a year. But it's under the umbrella of look at all the good top-heavy teams in the Big Ten or whatever. Some of these schedules are not hard at all, and other people get nailed. It's a little weird now how the scheduling model is when you got the expanded SEC and the Big Ten the way you have it. It's really, really interesting. So count on tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Even if there's a hospital issue, I'll do what I can to have somebody come over or take my kid or whatever so we could go live because I really want to get back into it on the night show with the energy building. Yes, 9 p.m. real time. Well, it's real time 9 if you're in the Eastern, and if you're where I'm at, it's 8. So it's going to be that's the deal. And so let's get into this. First things first, you land Teddy Gerard, okay? And here's the thing. Huge upside, according to everybody that I've talked to about this. People really, really think that sophomore film is very impressive, especially for a younger guy. You got to understand it's sophomore high school film. He's got a lot of development left. Callers, I'm coming right to you. He's got a lot of development left to do. And it's like, it's just really early. It's really interesting to me. Here's the other part. And I knew somebody was going to mention it. Sure enough, I think it was Commander Luke. I knew Luke was going to bring this up. And it is an interesting point, and it was on my bullet points. So I'm not taking a shot at Luke. It was on my bullet points to discuss as well. Rivals has this guy as the number 2 quarterback in that class, which is, if you told any Notre Dame fan you're landed the number 2 recruit in some class, the number 2 player at quarterback, it's freaking great. Other outlets have the guy as low as 18th in the quarterback. There is the perception. Forget outside fans that hate Notre Dame or whatever, want Notre Dame to fail. Forget them. They're always going to find the negative because that's how they're wired. Rivals has him up at number 2. Other outlets have the guy as the 18th best quarterback. The difference between 2 and 18 perceptually is so massive. The difference between 2 and 18 in how a regular fan is going to analyze if a quarterback's considered good or not is vast. 2 and 18? So do you average it out? He's 15. He's about 12. He's about 60. I don't know. So it makes you wonder how all these people are looking at this and analyzing where to rate guys and whatever, and like how perceptual that is. The difference between 2, Joe, I'm getting there. Give me a second. The difference between 2 and 18 is such a mind bender when you're looking at how good you feel about a young guy or whatever. So if you don't want to mess with, I don't know how all these outlets are doing their calculations or who's doing what and how they end up putting in the algorithm to shoot out who's what. If you don't want to play that game, then you look at the teams offering. So it's like Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, Clemson. Pretty good list. So if you want to do it that way, then you could, I don't know. Georgia was after them. Like, so it's really, really interesting. I know Tim Ide's a big fan. Like, there's a lot of upside. So maybe, follow me here. Maybe the upside of Gerard will make some people feel a little better about Grubbs because there seems to be a lot of questioning about Grubbs' ceiling in the 26 class. So maybe if you're somebody that is a believer in Gerard and you like that film and you see him continuing to develop in an upward trend, then maybe that makes you feel better about legitimate questions about where Grubbs fits in. Especially if the new young quarterback this year could build you a multi-year bridge to whatever comes next. So maybe you have some of that. So whatever. And you're going to have people pooping on it and saying the guy's not that good. Whatever, man. The guy's a sophomore. Did he just get his license? I mean, I don't know what to think. But you land a guy like that, and then it, by default, he kind of becomes a centerpiece of that 27 class starting early. I mean, the quarterback's a default leader, and then maybe, I mean, that's like a building block in the recruiting class, I guess. And the other thing is, people want these better wide receivers recruited. Who doesn't? Been saying that for 20 years. But it's like, maybe if you're able to show a better passing game this year, and then maybe if people like the way Gerard's developing, maybe that makes it a little easier to land some more of these recruiters or recruiters. I'll take more recruiters. Maybe that makes it a little easier to get more receivers of a higher cut. If you show on the field this year, your passing game's getting more expansive and dangerous, and then people are buying into what Gerard could turn into, maybe that helps. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. You can tell me if I'm getting crazy. I don't know. And then this is exactly how I knew it was going to go. when you have those varying rankings with a guy like this, certain people are going to be like, oh yeah, man, number 2 quarterback. I feel great about it. I'm rested on my laurels and we're going to be good. The negative Nancy's and the glass half empty people in the Notre Dame fan base and anybody that doesn't like Notre Dame is much more likely to look at it and be like, yeah, look at the guy, number 18 quarterback, whoopity-doo. Who cares? Good for you, Notre Dame. You suck. So, like, it's in the eye of the beholder, I guess. It's in the eye of the beholder. Angela, thank you. Have a good time out there. What at the Wisconsin Dales? We're going to the Wisconsin Dales. Shouldn't you be happy? Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame wanted the guy. They went and got him and pulled him out of the South. That's a big win. It's a Hulkamania running wild in heaven. Man, you got a lot of them guys joining them, too. You got a lot of them guys joining them, too, up there, man. The Macho Man's up there. Like, you got a lot of them guys welcoming him. Maybe him and Andre the Giant can redo their match for everybody in heaven. You ever think about that? Maybe right now, the Hulkster and Andre are redoing their famous match for everybody in heaven. And Ozzy's sitting there wondering what the hell's going on. You ever really think about heaven and what it might be like? It's an interesting YouTube niche, by the way, when you see all those people that said they died and went to heaven or hell and then came back. And I never really know whether to believe it or if they were just high on like medicine in the hospital and they were dreaming all this stuff. I don't know, man. I remember when I got my wisdom teeth out and I woke up. I'll never forget. I got my wisdom teeth out and they knock you out and like whatever. I'll never forget. I kind of woke up. I saw my own body flying in the 4 corners of the room. I'll never forget it, man. I literally remember seeing my body floating in the ceiling, hitting a corner of the square room, going to the other corner, and just making a rotation. And I remember laying there seeing my body doing it. So I don't know whether those people were high or if they really went to heaven or hell and said what it was like. Like, your people are hanging out there. Everything's nice. I don't know. You were dreaming, John. Yeah. I don't know what was going on. Who knows? Who knows? Oh, boy. One more chat, and then we'll get to the calls. We'll see what the people think. And I'm still open to people typing in here. John's body was doing the old screensaver. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. Hold my drink. Hold my drink. It's a celebration. Brothers Darkness. $5 holler. Irish for life. No shootings in Chicago this weekend. I've got a better chance of Selma Hayek showing up at my door with a handwritten love note. Yeah, but we're in the suburbs. I'm not acting like we're not on the west side of the city, like in the city. But it ends up being every weekend when the weather's warm. It's usually like midnight, 2, 3, 4. You always have something pop off. And it's like a couple people that are shot and you got to go try and save them. And then it's whatever. Yeah, I run the old block. That's for sure. Yeah, you know me. You know me. All right, let's get into some of these calls. Anybody catch that Snake Lincoln Riley presser talking about Notre Dame? I got to be honest, I didn't. I do not value these pressers the way other people do. I don't. I think it's gaslighting, narrative driven. You have your bullet points. You and your information team, your PR team, they have bullet points. Things you want to get across in this to put in the ether. Things you want to avoid. They tell them if this comes up, here's how you sidestep it. Anyone thinking these are real interactions at the podium, wake up to the real world. Wake up to the real world. If you think that any of this is legitimate, like honest, straight up, like you're getting information. No. This is all angle narrative driven. They all have their points they want to nail home, the things they want to avoid, and it's wild. Nobody gaslights as much as Kelly. Clearly, that's accurate. It's unbelievable, man. He's up there. Kelly can't help himself. He was up there again calling Clemson Death Valley Jr., even though Clemson had Death Valley 50 years before LSU. It's unbelievable. The stuff, it's unbelievable. The way that guy It's unbelievable. But like literally, he's up there calling it Death Valley Jr., even though Clemson had that for 50 years before LSU. It's unbelievable. But the guy just can't help himself. So I find very little value out of all these conference, whatever, man. It is just rough. Eric, I missed the show, but a lot of people said you had a really good call-in show. Something happened with Caden. I don't know what the deal is with that. Somebody could fill me in. But I hung up on him when he tried to call me from a burner phone on Wednesday. So I don't know. Let's get into the calls. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. 717, what's going on? Welcome.
John, you got me.
I do got you. What's going on?
K, what up, baby?
I'm
I'm on my way to a wedding right now, actually, for a fellow Irishman. So I'm pretty fired up.
Congratulations. That'll be fun. And the other thing is, major credit to the lovely couple for scheduling it all before football starts. That is a good start to the marriage right away. I'm just telling you, it's a good start to the marriage right away. I like the way they're navigating this. I would give them more in the envelope just for that. That's a good job.
You know what? We may have to make a pit stop at the ATM right now, pick up a little bit more because of that.
Yeah.
They did specifically schedule around Notre Dame football, so good on them.
Yeah, dude, there have been a lot of weddings where I'm just like, nope. Like, everybody just said, nope, it's just not happening. Like, a Saturday in October, like, no, I'm not doing it. Like, no, I'm not in it. It's a whole thing, man. Like, can a brother get 12 weekends to be left alone out of my miserable life? Like, I just need 12 weekends. You got all the other ones to pick from. Leave these 12 alone.
Well, that's what I got a funny story for you, actually. Last year, I had my first wedding that I was in, right? And it was the Northern Illinois game. And when I tell you, I'm sitting there as the couple is having their first dance, as we trot out Mitch Jeter for a 1,000-yard field goal, and I'm sitting there with the phone on the table.
Divorce.
People are watching me in the crowd just to see my reaction, and it was bad. It was bad. I mean, I feel bad. I was trying to lock in on the game, trying to lock in on their first dance.
Woof.
It was miserable.
That is incredibly unfortunate. And the inverse of what we just said, that's a rough start to that family. Although, hey, look at it this way. Maybe they tried to do you a favor and distract you from the misery. They were trying to help you out on that one. And I'm sure you went into it. I'm sure you went into it thinking, oh, it's Northern Illinois. If I had to not be able to tune in for a game completely, this would be the one. Yeah, look where that got you.
Yep, exactly right. Exactly right.
Brutal.
So, I want to be quick, but I wanted to get in because, and I think everyone else is with me on this, I have felt very confident all summer, right? Coming off the national title appearance run, we're hot in recruiting, getting even hotter, especially with Teddy Gerrard. I think the kid's going to be a stud. Reminds me a lot of Brady Quinn. I know Carter Allman tweeted out the picture of Brady Quinn. I like the comparisons there. He's going to develop. He's going to mature. He's got a couple of years. But my anxiety day by day, as we get closer to kickoff, has been ramping up. I felt so confident and felt in a good place. And then I listened to the show on Monday, and I forgot that we have a completely new kicker. Now I'm thinking about the kicking situation. I was worried about the punter last year. Now I'm worried about the kicking situation. We have a new DC. I'm starting to get worried, and I want you to settle me down a little bit, or at least talk through this with me. Because now we're under 40 days, and I'm getting a little antsy.
I'm right there with you. And the way I look at it is, here's how I'm viewing it. Tell me if you agree. This program is in the healthiest shape it's been in the last 30 years by far. I mean, every different box you could check, from the administrative stuff, the behind the scenes stuff, the training table, the facilities, whatever. They're getting caught up with all that stuff. The talent in the program, the recruiting, the athletes. There's more raw athletes in the program than there's been before. And you have a young, energetic head coach that has some actual big game skins on the wall from last year. In so many ways, the foundational level of this program is at such a more competitive level than it's been in 30 years. That is all awesome. But then you got to also marry it with the tough early schedule and all these personnel questions we have. And that's where you're going to toss and turn for 37 more days or whatever it is. I don't know what to, like, everything depends on everything else, depending on something else being okay. You got the tough schedule, a new defense. You kind of got to wait and see, but you like the personnel. You're going to protect the quarterback with a good run game. Well, what's the O-line like? Like, I don't know. So how do you process it? How do you process through this? How?
Right. You're spot on. And it's a little nerve-wracking because all of those unknowns we know are going to be put to the test. You're going to need a kicker to step up and make a 43-yarder late in the game.
Yeah, your margin in those first two games is very small for multiple reasons. You don't have that big of a margin to be able to play with, and you got to have a pretty tight operation early. It's really an interesting Notre Dame dynamic, man. And you and I both, I said this before, you could end up with a really, really good Notre Dame football team that's like getting written off the playoff by like week 4 or 5 or something. Like, this could be a really good team, but they could lose a couple early games easy if things don't go the right way. Like, the margin just isn't there. It's not Miami, Ohio. It's Miami Hurricanes. And you just don't have a lot of margin for mistakes. So it's a tough, tricky spot for a program that's in a good spot and trending up. There's just a lot weighing on that first 3-week window.
It is. And I think the biggest thing that gives me confidence is that anchor that we have Marcus Freeman as our head coach, right? He's setting the culture. And I don't know if you saw Paul Feinbaum yesterday, but I almost fell out of my chair when I saw he was actually giving Notre Dame praise openly on ESPN, on the Disney network. I couldn't believe my ears and eyes. But Marcus Freeman as our head coach will put us in the best position to win those games. It's just those unknowns that we're not so certain about. What's CJ going to look like on 3rd and 7 when we need a first down? Like all those little things that we're going to need week 1 and week 2.
But it's like, it cracks me up when people will be like, I'll see it on Twitter. They're like, oh, well, early in the year, if you want to protect the young quarterback, you just hand the ball to Love and have a really good run game, and then that'll solve it. It's like, well, are you sure the O-line's going to be able to create the holes for a good running game early in the season? Are you sure? Mm-hmm. Or like what are you going to have? It's just, there's a lot, man. And it's big. It's just a lot of, you're going to have a checklist of unknowns that you want to see how it goes. And no one knows how it's going to go. There's no one in Notre Dame land that has any idea. You have theories. And if you're like me, you're like, on the high end, this is what it looks like if things go pretty good. On the low end, here's what it looks like if there's a nightmare. And then what happens if you're in the middle somewhere? Sid Irish says it's useless to worry. Well, that ain't going to stop me. Like, no, you know what gets me, man? You know the phrase, don't worry about anything outside your control. You always hear people say, you're wasting your energy. Bro, those are the things I worry about the most because I can't change what happens. That's where I worry the most. I worry the least about things I can change. It makes no sense. You should worry about stuff you can't control because it's not on you to control the destiny. Those are the exact things to worry about.
100%. I'm right there with you. And it's good to know that you and I are rowing the same boat, brother. I'm right there with you.
I don't want that for you. That's a dangerous boat to row down. Like when you called and you were like, John, I want you to make me feel a little better about this stuff. You're barking up the wrong tree, buddy. Like, because I'm always worrying. The day I'm not worrying, check my pulse like Ozzy. I mean, come on.
Well, you know, misery and company, what they say. But I do feel better because we share in that. And the last thing I will say before I go is, I know last time I called in, Andrew Gilmore had a comment about just like, how do we really know what they're going to have in CJ? I really do trust in Denbrock. I trust in Gino, maybe not as much, but Denbrock, the proof is in the pudding. We paid that guy over $2 million to be our OC. I have full trust in him that they're going to know in camp what he's capable of. He's going to let them know what he's willing to do or what he's capable of doing. And we just got to trust in that game plan. That's the one thing that I go back to is they're going to know what he's capable of in practice against really good players. I mean, even the 2 deep that we have is going to be up to par in terms of an athletic and physical standpoint. So I have trust in that.
I am with you. I have been saying this is a huge front half of the season for Gino Guidugli and Mike Denbrock. They have got to know exactly what level they're starting from with however this quarterback thing goes, whatever they're going to do, if it's Carr, whatever. They've got to have a good grip and understanding on exactly where things are at here to know what they're going to do in these early games, because I think there's a small needle to thread there between not putting too much on a young kid, but also allowing him enough rope that he could do what he wants, that he could do what he's comfortable and confident in. There's a really thin line to walk there between overwhelming the guy and dumbing it down to where you're restricting what he could do early. You got to thread that needle. And the defense is a big part of it. And the O-line's a big part of it. And are you going to get more production on the wide receivers this year? All these things are standalones, but they all weave with everything else.
Yeah, completely agree. And it's going to be not until kickoff until we get any answers. And that's what's exciting about it. We have stuff to talk about and pontificate upon until that ball is kicked. So I'll leave you with this. Penn State sucks. Notre Dame rules. Irish by a billion. Thanks, John.
There we go. Hey, have fun at the wedding and be safe and have a good time, buddy.
Thank you. Take care.
How much time you got, buddy? Oh, boy. Nikki Dean, $5 holler. John can't settle anybody down. He's too high strung. That's for sure. Gouldsby was asking me the other day on Patreon. He's like, dude, are you going to lose all that weight that I've gained since blue and gold? He's like, are you going to lose all that weight with the anxiety of the season? Like, let's see what happens if I can keep it up or not. That's just how my body reacts to extreme stress. I just melt away the calories. Show him your face. Like, hey, John, are you going to be able to do a Saturday show? Yes, I am. I'm shooting for 8 o'clock Central. I'm going to tell you guys, there's nothing in the world that can replace that feeling of like before the day of a big Notre Dame game that night. There's nothing. There's no drug in the world. There's nothing that can replace that feeling of just raw emotion and anticipation and intensity that comes with the beginning of the day of a big Notre Dame game at night. All the pacing around and the worrying and that look you have on your face, all serious, worried about what the boys are going to do. Oh, boy, yeah. So Saturday night show, 8 o'clock, baby. It's the Saturday night special. Andrew Gilmore. My concern with Carr is the lack of buzz out of spring. Carr is Freeman's prize recruit. He told Reese to prioritize him over saying, if he doesn't win the job, what does that mean? I don't know. It could mean that he's pretty good and Minchie's better. And that the guy that everybody thought was a throw-in add-on at the end, maybe he's just better. I don't know. I don't know, Andrew. It's going to be a rough 37, 38 days or whatever, man. It's going to be, there's a lot of moving pieces here. And it's going to go from 0 to 100. And you're going to get into camp and they have, realistically, what do you have? A week to figure out your starting O-line and the quarterback, and then you got to get those guys out there all on the same page. Like, once this project starts, you don't have a lot of time. You ain't got a lot of time to figure this stuff out. So I don't know. What is going on in the chat? I am not able to address it as efficiently as I'd want. What are you guys all talking about? 419, what's going on? Welcome to the show. My main man Martinez coming up. What's going on?
Oh, man, just slow rolling, JK, man. Just calling in, getting ready for the season, baby.
So where are you at, man? We're a little ways away from camp. Like, where are you at? Are you confident? Do you have anxiety? Or do you feel like it's all going to come together? Like, where is your mind at before this whole thing gets going?
My mind is that we're one of the best teams in the nation, so I don't have any anxiety. I'm excited. I think this team is going to be even more hungry than last year, so I don't see no NIU games in our future. We might lose to Miami or Texas A&M or even USC, so those are big games. Other than that, we go steamroll the rest of the
So what are you envisioning the quarterback thing working out for? In your mind, is it like, are you penciling in Carr, or do you think there's still a competition left? Like, what do you think?
Oh, it ain't no competition at all. No offense to Kenny Minchie, but TJ Carr is the guy. He just is that guy. He's that guy. He has it all over him. But Kenny Minchie, he should have some packages, at least on goal line. I really pray and hope, I dream that they could go back to the three running backs in the backfield with Kenny Minchie at the quarterback on the goal line. I would love, like, how we used to do, like when we played Florida State back in '93. I would love if we could do that again, because we have so many running backs. And with Kenny Minchie back there on the goal line, with Eli Rare being out there, our goal line packages would be unstoppable. But yeah. I love this team. I love the talent. We're going to be unstoppable, man. I think it's just going to take a while for TJ to get his feet wet. And other than that, man, I think we'll be okay, man.
Yeah, see, isn't that the big battle, though? Like you said, it might take a while for the guy to get his legs under him or whatever. Well, that's the problem. You don't have a big runway here. You have Miami and Texas A&M are your first two games. Like, that's the challenge here. It's like, you want to have some leeway for like a young guy making his first start and being understanding of like some maybe rookie mistakes or whatever. You just can't afford a lot of them because it's just too important and the margin's too small. You're confident going down to Miami, huh?
Yeah, I'm confident in any game that we play in. You're right, though. You know, CJ, as long as you don't make repeated mistakes, we'll be okay. Every quarterback makes mistakes, even the fifth-year senior does. So it doesn't matter. Freshman, fifth-year senior, some fifth-year seniors just suck. So I'm okay with it, man. As long as we got a guy in-house finally instead of that, because, oh, my God, that NIU game gives me nightmares with Riley Leonard and the throws he was making. Some of the worst throws I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was rough.
So, yeah, so I'm confident, man. I love this team. I just wanted to call in, man. I'm ready for the season. This team is way more talented. We're going to keep getting talented. I'm just excited, man, as you can see. So I just wanted to call in and, say, keep your head up, Irish Nation. We're going to be okay.
I like the positivity, man. I like the positivity. I need some of that to balance out my worries. So I really do. I like that a lot. And then stay in touch, man. When camp gets going and we start getting a little information about how the new O-line configuration or the quarterback thing, touch base. Let's stay in on this.
I got you, John. Go Irish Nation, man. Y'all have a good weekend.
Have a good one, man. Take it easy. Take it easy. Oh, man. John should probably just head to Miami for Labor Day weekend. No, thanks. No, thanks. I'm not a good traveler. I'm not a comfortable traveler, man. Everything stresses me out. Every time I'm at an airport, there's a problem. Like, what was I at the Fort Lauderdale airport for like 12 hours the last time I flew? Like, I'm not a good traveler. Everything, and I don't like people. I don't like lines. I don't like waiting. I don't like any of that stuff. So it's bad enough when you're just going on vacation. But when you're going to a Notre Dame game, then you have all the extra stress of that. It's just not for me. It's not enjoyable for me. It's not fun for me. It doesn't add to my experience at all. John, why do you stress out about ND? It's just a game with kids, man. I know you know the answer to that. It's way, way more than that for a lot of people. It's way more than that. And luckily, I'm glad a lot of people are like me and worry about it nonstop, or I wouldn't be able to do this for a living. So I don't know. Yeah, stop flying Spirit, John, and you'll be fine. Yeah. It seems to me, you know what I think we need to do, people? We need to make flying, there's got to be a bigger barrier to fly, because there's some people flying that just shouldn't even be in public, let alone flying. It's always those people ruining everybody else's experience, fighting with somebody. Like, You got to remember when only classy people flew? Like in the 50s, everybody would wear their Sunday's best with like the men would wear a suit and you would fly and read the paper and drink your coffee on the plane while you have a smoke. Like we need to go back to that because I see people acting a fool at every airport and it blows my mind. Some of these people look homeless and they got the money to fly across country, but they present as borderline homeless slobs, and they're flying all over. No respect for anything, no respect for the property, no respect for the workers, just entitled, just I do whatever I want. The whole thing rubs me the wrong way. My main man, Martinez. What up?
Johnny, what's up, buddy?
What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Not much. Yeah, hey, Johnny, real quick, two things. Hey, man, you're right on that whole flying thing. Me, I usually fly in, sweats like a workout outfit because I usually fly for a long time. You know what I mean? Like into Dallas-Fort Worth, all the way to Indiana. From Salt Lake to Dallas, and from Dallas out to South Bend. So it gets long for me, man. I want to try to fly comfortable. But, yeah, man, a lot of people that shouldn't be flying. It's like those memes you see, the people at Walmart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. And you know what bothers me too? When I go to Florida and I'm leaving Chicago, there's always 12 ladies that get wheelchaired to the front saying they can't walk. And then the second the plane lands in Florida, they walk right off the plane and go to the beach. And I know they're juking the system and it rubs me the wrong way. I'm going to record them and call them all out. I hate that.
You know what? And also, one more thing. Are you sure you're not an ex-con, man? Hate being around people, hate being around crowds, don't like being out there. Hey, that's still an ex-con tendency, Johnny.
Hey,
that's antisocial ex-con tendency.
We're keeping my history private, okay? And you can't Google it. If you try and Google John Kennedy, good luck. You're gonna find a million things before you get to me.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, first you got an FBI list of callers, and now John Kennedy's got its content. But nah, brother. You said go anywhere with it. You know, for me, your question was, who do we need to have a breakout season?
Yeah, what are you looking
I
at?
have to agree with Andrew. I would have to agree with Andrew on this one. I think we need a dominant in the middle D line. You know me, I'm a big fan of Al Washington, been rooting for him, especially, Junior had a breakout season last year, but I think we just need that one guy. Remember that nasty of a son of a bitch, Kevin Farrelly for Auburn? That, he was just a nasty, or like a Damakun Su. Like, I mean, he doesn't have to be a douchebag, but just, and I loved Howard Cross, man. I loved Howard Cross. I loved how undersized he was, his heart, his fight. You know what I mean? But being undersized too, obviously, he at times, you get double team, you're gonna get double team. But we need a breakout from that one D lineman who's just nasty and raw, and you know what I mean. As much as I love Junior too, man, but we need that up in the middle type dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're losing a lot of production there, and it's on guys. The guys got to step up, and they just do. And I do feel like there's a lot more defensively there is to like with like some proven entities or players that have shown enough of something. It's just on offense, everything is a real question mark to me. The passing game, the quarterback, the O-line, everybody loves Love, but that only works if you have a good O-line. I have a lot more questions offensively, I think.
Well, and that's true. We do have more questions on the offensive line. But for me, I think that our defense, which has been our strength, which sets the tone, we'll take a little bit of ease off that offense. You know what I mean? Like I've said before, you start off with those small swing passes or hand the ball off a few times. And I think the confidence will be built in C.J. Carr or even Kenny Minchey, Should the pass game not be open, you come in with the quick, QB sneaks or QB runs. And if you're going to go offense, I think we just need to kind of piggyback off another third wide receiver. I think Graydon House and Faison are definitely there as far as the talent goes. It obviously showed during the playoffs. And Obviously, we know about Faison coming on.
You know what? Let me ask you a question about that.
Sure.
Do you feel like when you're thinking about a guy like Faison and Greathouse, maybe, do you feel like there's another level for those guys? And then if you have a quarterback that's really comfortable throwing it around, maybe those guys can find a groove and get a different level of production? Or do you feel like they are kind of what they are and there's like certain physical limitations and it kind of is what it is? Or do you feel like with the combination of a better throwing quarterback, maybe they'll take a notch up? Like, I don't think it's crazy to hope for that, is it?
No, I think you're hit the nail on the head. I do think that those guys have another level of athleticism and ability. I just think it's a matter of being able to get them the ball. You know, I think Tom Frawley has said many times where some of our wide receivers open a little bit more, and we were limited with Riley's passing ability or his passing IQ.
And then you need Faison. Faison's got to be healthy too. That's the other thing. He can't have some lingering hamstring or whatever. Faison's a guy he's got to be healthy for more of the year here to get in a groove.
Yeah, that's always right. I mean, who knows how that national title game would have gone? Ben Morrison been defending that number one receiver that Ohio State had. I agree with you. Definitely got to stay healthy. That's the number one thing. But yeah, those wide receivers have a next level of ability. They really do. It's just a matter of getting them the ball with the right quarterback, and having one more wide receiver, because we know we got the tight ends. To block or even to catch.
Okay, how about this?
Over the middle.
How about this, man?
Okay, go ahead.
We're talking about like the guys we've seen a little bit at Notre Dame, guys like Faison and Greathouse. How about one of the transfer guys like Fields or Pauling really breaking out, not just being a rotational guy to have out there, but like being a true difference maker. One of them guys that came in for a 1-year deal. Let's see that. Like, and it would just be a pleasant surprise.
Johnny, and hey, you know what? You're right on that, man. You're right. And I think, and week in, week out is what you mean, right? Because in the playoffs, it was Bo Collins make a big touchdown. It was Jaden Harrison that ran that back from Georgia. It was Oben that caused that fumble. But no, week in, week out, yeah, I agree. I definitely would love to see Malachi Fields, and the fact that we transferred him to have a breakout season, because now, we're taking some attention off of Faison and Greathouse, right? So we get that third option with Malachi Fields, and hopefully week in, week out too, he can make those big plays, man. You know what I mean? And when we need them. Yeah. I agree with you, Johnny. I agree totally with you, buddy.
It's I don't know, man. You're gonna have a laundry list of questions, and the only way you get answers is to watch us play Miami. Like, it is this 37 days are gonna be messing with all of our heads so much. I just can't wait to get answers to start to see what level we're at with all this. Like, I just need the answers. And right now it's all questions, man. And that's why we're here. And that's why we do this.
Yeah, Johnny, and here, I'll leave you on a few positive facts, right? Remember, Marcus is 3-0 against the big bad, supposedly wannabe tough guy beating up on 2 junior high teams a year SEC. He is 3-0 against them. He's good. He shows up for big games. He's never gotten blown out. He's lost some heartbreakers with Marshall and NIU, but he's never been blown out. Also, remember, Ash comes from championship pedigree with Urban Meyer. Last year, we won more games than any other coach in Notre Dame history. And we have a lot of returning starters. Johnny, I got to get back, buddy, but just throw some positives to leave on, man, and remember them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That as long as we got that anchor, like the first caller said, as long as we got the anchor, like I said, the head of the snake and Freeman, then we're good, buddy.
Yeah.
I got to go, Johnny.
Hey, thanks a lot, buddy. Have a good weekend. Enjoy it. Don't work too hard now. Take care. How much time you got, buddy? I would like to say, man, for my main man Martinez and 559 on the line, I'm honestly genuinely proud of those guys. Not that it matters what I think in my basement, but like both of those guys have had some rough patches in life and have kind of got it going in the right direction, a healthy, safe, like good direction. I'm really proud of that. Good for those guys. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to do to make that life change and go in a better direction, a healthier direction. a safer direction. Good job. Like, I'm proud of those guys. Dawson is new. Rubio and Anye were away for the team for a period last year. Heinisch is small. DT, massive question. Fair. It's fair. Like, I don't know. 38 likes. I got 138 people in here, and only the first 38 hit the like. Move your thumb. I appreciate it. Just hit it. It tells YouTube to show it to more people. Show it to more people. ND Wine and Cheese. What a name. $2 hour. After Miami and A&M, ND will put everybody on notice. I hope so. All right. Here's a middle of the road look. Yeah, dude. Did you see that picture of Eli Raridan in New York? Holy crap. Son of a buck. That's a good-looking boy. Telling you, man, at the linebacker after blue and gold, I was standing out back, like behind the fence area with Goolsby and Eli Raridan's dad. Dude, Goolsby's already big enough. And then I'm talking to Eli Raridan's dad, and I felt like a little baby. Like, I almost needed a neck brace when I was done talking to him because I'm looking straight up. His dad's like 6'9". It was hilarious. I'm out there with my green pants, doing the always Irish thing. I'm looking up at Eli Raridan's dad. I'm like cranking my neck. It was unbelievable. And so it's just, listen, Eli looks strong. You got to stay healthy, man. He's probably 6'7.5", bro. Whatever it was, that dude is humongous. It was unbelievable. I just remember I'm drinking my little Miller Lite and I'm just cranking my neck talking to this guy about the team. It's unbelievable. Irish life. The Irish for life. Wasn't that Ice Cube, right? For life. Our job is we have to at least split Miami and Texas. I know that's not what you meant to say, but it actually sounds pretty cool. Our job is we have to split Miami, Texas A&M to get to the playoffs. Then Carmen, you have time to develop by the end of the year. I've thought of that as well. No, it's almost funny or whatever you can interpret. You got to split them. Yeah, Mac 10. Wasn't he one of them guys with, he was with it. What were they? The East Siders or whatever? Whatever that was, that little group that Ice Cube put together. Here's my belief. If Notre Dame could get to the post-USC off week that kind of divides the year and the schedule in half with one loss or less, it's hard not to see playoff lock home game. If they, West Side Connection, there you go. I knew it was something like that. You got, if you could get there with one loss or less, then you get into the lighter part of the schedule. You also, then all the new moving parts will have 5 or 6 games under their belt. The new quarterback should be feeling more comfortable, confident. Everybody's going to settle into their roles. People figure out what they're going to do or whatever. If you could get to that break with one loss or less, you're set. You should be set. I think with 2 losses with this schedule, Notre Dame could make the playoff. It's just going to be a rough road because you're going to go on the road somewhere tough. So I honestly think, and I think J.D. Pickle, one of the national guys, was saying, this Notre Dame schedule a little tougher than you think. I think it's a year where with 2 losses, Notre Dame could make it, but it just makes it a rough road. Mike says ND should be the biggest lock for the playoffs. I don't believe that. Like, as much as I hate Penn State, I have them as a bigger lock for the playoffs than Notre Dame. The schedule, I don't think the schedule is that hard, and you have a quarterback coming back that you trust. Like, I don't know. I think that's a lot more reliable than how could I say Notre Dame is the most odds for a playoff lock when they have 2 really tough games to start, and I have no idea if the quarterback's good. Like, I'm sorry. I want it to be good, but I got to see it to believe it. I got to see it to believe it. So I don't know. But I think it's a year where with 2 losses, Notre Dame gets in, but then you go on the road and it's going to be a tough uphill battle. But if you could get through the first couple there, 1-1 or better, Aller sucks. Whatever. A lot of people are believing in him. Just glad he threw us the ball at the end of the game. I don't know what to tell you. 415. What's going on in sunny California?
Johnny boy, how have we been, my man?
We're a little on edge. We're doing good, but we're a little on edge. I know that won't be a surprise to you. It's just all questions and no answers for the next 37 days, brother.
Yeah. It feels like as we get closer and closer, everybody's getting more antsy. And it's not just us, but across the board, right? Everybody's sitting here. You could listen to different podcasts. You could listen to different whatever radio shows or ESPN, or it doesn't matter what it is, and people are just like kind of just jacked up for this season. I think a lot of it has to do with the parity within the leagues. It just seems like there's so much like kind of open availability for people or for teams to take that next leap and that next jump. There's no like just super dog team that's just like built to just destroy. And I feel like because of the fact that we have this kind of even tone across the board, like you could easily put Notre Dame against Georgia or Alabama or Clemson, or it doesn't matter, even Ohio State. And it just feels like it's going to be a lot closer of a game than in the years past, where you don't know who's going to win. So I think because of that, and because of the fact of the way that NIL and recruiting has been jumping up, it just feels like there is a lot more anticipation, especially for us, given the last recent years, in this season coming up. And it's just, I'm just jacked up about it. And it's just like every single time I think about it, you go like, yep, 56 days. Oh, now it's going to be a Goolsby until we get there. And now it's like 30 something. It's like, man, it is quick.
Yeah. And like, here's where I'm first off, thanks for getting back in the call rotation. Let me ask you this. Like, here's where I struggle. I see both sides of it. I started off the show by saying this is objectively the most solid the foundation of this program has been in 30 years, on the field, off the field, the talent, the administrative side, the coach, everything's trending in a good direction. However, there are landmines all over the first half of this schedule that could really blow this up and change the vibe in a bad way. And I just hope this program's at a level where they could withstand all the moving parts and changes and win while they're putting it all together. I don't know, man. It could go a couple different ways. And if it goes bad at all, the national college football people that hate Notre Dame, the other fan bases, they're going to pile on. And some of our own people are going to bail and go, oh, Marcus was a one-trick pony last year. This sucks. I don't want to go through that. Just be good early. I don't want to deal with all that negativity.
Yeah, because we do not want to give them an inch, right? Because they have all been sitting there, all the naysayers, all the negative people out there about Notre Dame who have hated Notre Dame or whatever it is, whether it's because we're independent or this, that, or the other. It's just, you can understand that there are enough people out there that are waiting for us to slip up just one iota so that we can be bombasted in every single news frame and article out there. And it's hard because you know that these are kids and they're doing the best job that they can. They're anywhere between 18 and 22, 23 years old. And it's just one of those things where you think like, man, we're putting a lot of stock and a lot of faith into like how we are as,
okay, now let me ask this.
You know what I mean?
I'm glad you brought this up. I'm glad you brought that up. Let me ask you this. And I don't know the answer. And maybe I should because this is my world every day. But let me ask. How understanding do you think the Notre Dame fan base is going to be with the new young starting quarterback? Like, how much patience do you think we're going to have when there's all this pressure to win and beat Miami and we hate them and the history and the fight in the tunnel and 2017, all of this stuff? how much flexibility do you think there really is? You know, a guy, he throws a bad pick to Miami at a bad time. Are people going to be understanding, or is it like, get the other guy in there? Like, this guy sucks. Like, I just wonder what that maturity level is going to be like from people like me and the regular fan base. What are you expecting there as far as the understanding level? There could be some rookie mistakes here.
I think, John, that we're going to have a mix of it, as we usually do. But I think that there could be more vocal folks out there about a switch or a change, depending on the level of play and the issues that might have arisen. Like, if one of those two kids goes out there and throws like 2 pick sixes or something like that, or just, you know, something like 8 for 23, it just doesn't look like they have it, because of the fact that we know the rest of the team is built to win right now. And this is like the cornerstone piece that we need, the most important position in my mind in all of sports. And you need this person to be rock solid. And if they're not, because of the fact that we were just off the tails of a national championship berth getting into the game, and we know that we have so many returning players and we're built to win, it would, I think you would have a number of people that would be not necessarily unrealistic, but they would most certainly be vocal and then become a little bit unrealistic in their, you know, desires. And for me personally, but for me, it's all about the patience, and it's about understanding. Once you have I think, you know, not that age has anything to do with it, because I know some, you know, 60-year-olds that are a lot more mature than some 20-year-olds. But I would say with life and life experience, you start to understand that there needs to be more patience and a better understanding of that these kids need to grow. They need to develop. They need time.
Yeah, it's
you know what I'm saying?
I do.
And it's just
I don't know,
it's
man.
just go for it, buddy.
And maybe the other part of it is, who cares about the fan base and how we're going to react? A bigger part of it is, how does the staff navigate a young signal caller that maybe there's a couple mistakes or a rush throw or like, you know, whatever. I think it's obviously much more important how they navigate this and how you motivate the kid and keep their confidence up. Like, and the other thing that I'm open to is, and I don't know if we put percentages on this of what we think is most likely. There is a certain percentage of me that realizes it could go well. You could have a young quarterback that isn't overwhelmed in a big moment at Miami and could play well and surprise us with some throws. Like, it's not a guarantee it's going to be a struggle, but you got to be open to that as a realistic possibility in this dynamic. I don't know what we're going to get, and it's driving me nuts.
100%. And just, I think the biggest thing to remember for all of us as a fan base is just let them develop. Don't be so quick to pull the hook. You know, don't be so quick to just sit there and say and give up on this kid, because his first start, he is, you know, completely kicked out and just pulled out of the game because he had a couple of mistakes. Every single legendary player in any sport or in any venture in within life has had mistakes, has made mistakes. And that's how you learn. That's how you get better. So just give it time. And if we do have if this year were to go haywire and we were to, unfortunately, let's say we lost, we split those 2 games, but then we lose some other, horrendous game to like Syracuse or something like that. We don't make the playoffs because we don't have the conference championship, like things, something of that nature, right? We're in some bowl game. Everybody's bummed out, whatever. Just be patient. Be patient. Understand that next year, and I know it's always like,
man, that's asking a lot. That's asking a lot.
I know
it is. Tough.
It's asking a lot.
That's tough.
It's asking a lot, but you have to understand that this team and what we've been doing from a developmental standpoint and from recruiting, yes, you want it now because it's all about what's happening right now. I get it. But at the same time, it's just like, okay, that really sucks, but I still believe in this program. I still believe in what they're building. and what they can do.
Yeah, there is a total understanding of like 26 and what it should be when you have a year under whatever this quarterback's going to be, that 26 would be a jackpot year. The thing is, no one wants to feel like you got so close to winning a title, and then the feeling of regression, even for a year, is really going to turn people off. So you gotta do what you gotta do to avoid it, man. So I don't know. You got to do it.
But John, does that mean switch? Does that mean switch QBs? I mean, because now you got to think about like these young men and their confidence level and, you know, their inner, like how they're working with their mentality. And if you sit there and you change out their, you know, them out of the game, well, then what? You know, how does that work?
Yeah.
Because
you got to be careful.
Imagine
you got to
if
be
Minchie's
careful.
in there. Imagine if Minchie's in there and then he doesn't do well, he fumbles, and then they put in Carr, and Carr throws an interception, and they're going back and forth. It's like, well, where's the continuity within the team as well? Because you need that leader. So I don't foresee it happening. What I foresee happening is this. I think Carr gets the position, as most of us do. I think he will end up doing well against Miami. I think he'll have some bumps in the road down the line, but I don't know if it'll necessarily be against Texas A&M and Miami. I could see it being against a smaller team in that regard. And then he is going to have to learn. And I could see an 11-1 game, or 11-1 season where he's going to have to learn on the fly, and he's going to take us into the playoffs. And then we're going to really see, you know, where the rubber meets the road with him.
Man, yeah,
that's what I foresee happening.
There is just there are a lot of paths here, and it's just I'm going to be anxious until I see that it all is coming together. But at least camp's coming soon, and we'll start to get some answers of what they're going to do, what the quarterback's going to be, and the O-line, and how that's going. We'll get some answers soon. Hey, thanks for getting back in the mix, man. Have a good weekend with family and the kids, okay?
You got it, Johnny boy. Take care of yourself, buddy.
Good to hear from you again. Thanks for calling. WPP wants to talk Miami. So let me do a couple chats. We'll go right back to it. Why do I like rhyming so much? I like stupid rhymes so much. Johnny in my lunchbox at work. Does anybody remember that call from that guy? And the best part about the whole thing was when he was yelling at his coworker, Gary, "Shut up, Gary." And then didn't he say, like, if Gary calls HR, we're going to have a real problem in here? Oh, my God. I love it. I love it so much. Here's a little pushback, Mike. Look at the schedule when Indy made the playoffs. This schedule's easier. In totality, right? In totality, you can make the argument that schedule is a lot lighter. But it's not just about who you play overall. It's about when you play them and what the specific dynamics are entering those moments. It would be hard-pressed for me to find two tougher dynamics with everything we have going on and all the moving pieces than the first two ball games we play. Physically, that week off in between them will probably help. But it is going to be a big emotional and mental test for all of this program to avoid the noise. It is either going to be Notre Dame's going to the Super Bowl, they went to Miami and won, or it's going to be everything's terrible, everything's falling apart, fire Freeman. Last year was a fluke, Notre Dame's nothing again. There's going to be no in-between, people. Know that now. There's going to be no nuance in between. We're either winning the Super Bowl, everybody's flying high, or everything's horrible. There ain't going to be middle ground in that first off week. So I don't know what to make of it. Stephanie Joyce, $37 holler. Just listening today. T-37 to NV Verks Convicts. God bless you. I like the creativity there. She does kind of a Dr. John where you make the number match an angle you're going to do. Very creative and innovative. I like the way your brain moves. WPP, let's talk Miami. If I can hit the button. What's going on, brother? Good morning.
Hey, John, it's Pat from West Palm. Thanks for taking the call.
Yeah, no problem, man. WPP, I'm getting there, man. This Miami thing is building rapidly, and it's consuming a lot of my thoughts. I would love to know what's on your mind, brother.
Well, I've been thinking a lot about the quarterback competition. And, I don't have a favorite in that competition. I don't really care who wins. But I was thinking to myself, if the two quarterbacks are dead even, right? And let's just say Denbrock prefers Carr and the quarterback coach, the Italian guy, I forget his name.
Gaduli?
Gino prefers, whatever his name is. If the Italian guy prefers Minchie and Marcus Freeman doesn't have an opinion, how do you settle it then, right?
I think you defer to Denbrock then. Don't you have to defer to your 40-year of experience, like the second highest paid OC in the whole country? Don't you at that point? I wonder if Freeman would, as a defensive head coach, I wonder if he would just defer to Denbrock. And I don't think Gino could trump Denbrock. That's a lower level job. The OC's got to have more power than the QB coach with that decision. What do you think?
Well, that's a fair point, but suppose all three coaches are indifferent. All three coaches think it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really a dead set tie. Or it's so close as to be
I think then Freeman and Denbrock need to get together and then figure out what they want to do then. Like, I'm not saying Freeman doesn't have anything to do with it, but like a lot of the stuff is, I think you would lean on Denbrock's intuition, but Freeman definitely has a say. And ultimately, Andrew is right in the chat. Freeman could override anything. I just don't think he would. I think he would heavily weigh what Denbrock thinks.
I think that's fair. By the way, you have some very stupid people in your chat. I'm just going to click and close the chat because they're distracting and they're very, very stupid.
Before we move on, WPP, what would you make of a scenario where those guys are pretty even in camp? Like, is that even realistic? Is that a good sign or a bad sign? Wouldn't you hope one guy would be head and shoulders? Because what are the odds you would have two guys that are pretty equal at like a really high level? Like, is that realistic? What would it signify if there's no gap between those guys? Is that even good or bad? That's where my mind goes next with this angle.
Well, that's the old saying that if you have two quarterbacks, you have none.
Yeah.
Right? Because some guy should grab the job.
Yep.
I mean, the only time I've ever seen two quarterbacks succeed is about 30 years ago. Spurrier used to do that at Florida. He would shuttle in quarterbacks and stuff, and he actually had a potent offense back then. But that's very much the exception. Usually it's one guy or the other. But what I'm getting at, John, is if they're dead even and you can't decide, here's what I would do. Now, John, have you ever heard of this activity at Notre Dame called Bengal Bouts?
Yes.
It's where students get into the ring and box each other.
Yeah.
And the money goes to charity and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a whole to-do. I don't know if they still do it or not. That's interesting. I haven't really thought about it in years. But you guys can put on the gloves and box and stuff. And so what I was thinking, John, is don't get ahead of yourself, John. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Okay.
Now, maybe you're familiar, John, with the biblical story of King Solomon, where these two women were fighting over whose baby it was, because tragically, one of the women had a baby that died, and she kidnapped the other woman's baby, and the two of them were arguing over who owned the baby, whose child it was. And they brought it before King Solomon, and King Solomon said, "Give me my sword, I'll just cut it in half." And then the true mother spoke up and said, no, just let her have it, let her have it. And by that reaction, King Solomon was able to determine who the true mother was, right? That's a pretty intelligent way to go about it. I think the same thing could be done with the quarterback competition, in that you call in Carr and Minchie separately, and you say, "Look, guys, you're even. Look, you call in and say, Carr, you're even. Tomorrow we're going to have you put on the gloves, and you're going to, because Carr and Minchie are about the same size, and you're going to fight it out with Minchie, and you see his reaction, and you do the same thing with Minchie. You see his reaction to the fact that he's got to put on the gloves. And whoever balks, whoever starts asking questions and if you're asking questions, it's another way of saying I don't want to fight. That's the guy who has to go to the bench, right?
Interesting.
It's the guy that says, "Yeah, I'll put on the gloves."
Yeah, so a psychological, a mindset test there to see who's ready to compete and who's afraid of it or who wants to get in there. I get it.
Because John, they're going to be playing against the Canes in a few weeks, and those guys will cut their throats. I mean, the Canes have serial killers playing on defensive line. You better get a really tough kid to get in there. And I think that a kid that's willing to grab the gloves and get into the ring, he's the one you want playing against the Canes. Not some kid and I don't know who that is. I have no preference. I don't know who the hell is better between them. I put zero stock into those blue and gold games, and that's touch football. That's nothing.
Can I ask you this? Do you think that it would be wise for Notre Dame to have a package for the other quarterback and give that guy some series or play early in the year? Or do you think that will complicate things and it'll be like, if you have two quarterbacks, do you have none? Or do you think that it would make sense that, like, say Carr wins the starting job, to have a package for Minchie and involve him in short yardage or goal line or something? Or do you think that would muddy it all up in the whole, if you have two, you don't have one? Or do you think that that could be a way to kind of go about this early in the year? What do you make of that?
I think that's all garbage. And that's participation trophy stuff. And whoever the new quarterback is that gets the job needs all the reps he can get. And I don't know that Minchie. I don't know that their skill sets differ. In other words, the Florida Gators did that with what's his name, Tebow, years and years ago, because Tebow was a runner, not a thrower. And Tebow was such a different athlete than the quarterback they had playing, whose name I forget. But these two kids, Carr and Minchie, I have no evidence that Minchie's a better runner. And I don't have really any evidence that Carr's a better thrower, at least to me. So the job has to go to one or the other. Now, look, in Hard Rock Stadium, I got news. If you throw interceptions in that game, we will lose bad. And so, the way I would do it, I would do what Holtz did with Berline. There was a very famous story with Steve Berline going into, I think, the 87 season, maybe the 86 season. I don't remember which season it was. And Berline, was, stretching before practice, and Holtz came up to him and said, "Hey, Berline, you're going to throw only 6 interceptions this year." And Berline replied to Holtz, "Great, coach. How do you know that?" And Holtz said, "Because I'm going to bench you after the 6th interception." To me, I would make that 2 interceptions going into Miami. You throw 2 picks, you are gone.
Man, that's tough, though. Like, gone for how long? You're saying that if the new starter has
at least.
That's what I'm asking, because then you're creating this whole new dynamic, and then you're going to go into another dynamic against a tough team with the guy where you don't know what you're going to get. What if he messes up? Then what do? You bring Buckner back, and we just keep going down the line?
What's wrong with that?
Yeah. Well, number one is that's a tough message to send to a young player, that he gets like one game, and if it doesn't go great, you're over the project, right? Like, isn't that a tough message?
John, our quarterback cannot throw interceptions in the Hard Rock Stadium. We will get run off the field. That's what cost us back in 2017.
Yeah.
Interceptions.
Yeah, I did see the low lights of that online the other day. It was really dark. Really dark.
Yeah, that's what killed us in that game. You cannot throw picks in that game. You just can't do it. So I think that, for that game, you got to have a quick hook, because things can snowball on a young quarterback in that stadium. I've been there. I was at that 2017 game.
Ugh.
It was not pretty.
Yeah.
And when Kelly, to his credit, yanked Wingbush in that game, but the problem is,
his
name? Book started throwing pisses himself. And so, that's how I view the quarterbacks, that, we really can't throw any picks against the Canes, because that game will get out of hand fast.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, the margin is going to be very, very thin for those kind of mistakes. Like, I'm open to some mistakes. They just can't be catastrophic. Like it can't be pick six is your mistake. It needs to be, a guy's open and you overthrow him as the mistake. It can't be a strip sack because we don't feel the pressure. Like I expect some challenges. They just can't be the backbreakers. You're right. The margin just isn't there in the first two games. You're right about that.
Yeah, no. The last thing I'll mention, because I got to get going here, is, it's well known in the inner circles that the Canes steal signals from visiting teams in big games.
Oh, interesting. Connor Stallions
Marcus
action.
Freeman doesn't know that.
Interesting.
John, you're the leader of the Irish faithful. You got to communicate that message back to the coaching staff, John. That's your responsibility.
I don't know if they're going to listen to me.
You understand me?
Nobody listens to me. They're not going to. How does it fall on me? They're not going to listen. You think? What do you want me to do? Dial up the number to the Goog and tell them, hey, Miami's watching. How much access do you think a guy like me has, WPP?
John, I've said many times you're the Moses of the Irish nation. And you know what? If you read your Bible, John, and I think you're a little behind in your reading, you sound just like Moses right now.
Oh, man.
Moses told the Lord, I can't lead the nation. I have a stuttering problem. Blah, blah, blah. No, John, I don't want to hear that. You're the Moses, John. It's up to you. No one else, John. You. No one else. John.
WPP.
The responsibility is yours.
Sly Fox writes in the chat, let my low IQ people go.
Yeah, he may be clever, but there's a lot of stupid people in that chat.
I thought that was pretty funny. I thought that was a good one.
Anyway, John, I have to get going, but John, I leave you with this. It is your responsibility to communicate that to the coaching staff. You got all kinds of inside sources and whatever. I'm telling you now, the Canes steal signals. They don't do it often. They pull it out only for big, big games. And believe me, they are more than capable of treachery like that.
Yeah, man.
Hard Rock Stadium is a wretched hive of scum and villainy. George Lucas.
It's a really good way to put it.
I don't know you're George Lucas either.
Yeah, I definitely don't. But that was a very good way to put it. I feel an increased responsibility here for what happens. I feel the pressure, WPP.
Well, John, I warned you months ago. Don't say I didn't say anything. I warned you, John.
Yeah,
I warned you. You cannot.
Yeah, it's man, I'm with you there, but I do feel an increased sense of responsibility after this discussion, WPP. Listen, man, have a good weekend. Relax down in Florida. Right, try and relax and don't let the Notre Dame stress get to you. And I'll be live tomorrow night if you're interested.
All right, man. Be good.
Have a good one. See ya. Oh man, I did not realize that I hold the keys to all this. I feel an increased sense of responsibility here now. It's just funny. Like, I wish I could be like, yeah, I'll just text Marcus and tell him what to watch out for. I don't have that kind of connection directly anyways. I don't understand the fear of Miami. Sid, I'm going to tell you what I've said a million times, and I'm sticking to it, and I believe it's totally accurate. A lot of the concern is not because you think Miami's an all-star team. It's the totality of the circumstances weaved into this game. Some of it is the Miami talent. A lot of it is playing in that dump with all those swamp people yelling and filling the stadium up for 1 week a year. And then a lot of it is all of Notre Dame's moving pieces. So when anybody says, oh, I'm nervous about the Miami game, it's like a certain percentage of it has to do with Miami, but a lot of it has to do with all the other stuff, being on the road, the new quarterback, the new DC, the O-line, the wide receivers. So that all blends. It isn't just Miami's roster you got to consider. It's what we're bringing in there too. So I don't know, man. But, man, WPP's putting the pressure on Johnny. You know what I'm saying? I better get it together here. All right, guys, I got to get going. I got stuff to do today. Got to get on the run. Thanks for the calls. Thanks for the donates. Thanks for everybody being here. And then plan on 8 o'clock. We'll do a Saturday night special. Crack some lids and have a little fun with Johnny Boy. Saturday nights are fun, man. Especially with no game. Like without the intensity of right after a game. I love our Saturday night shows. People loosen up a little bit. You get a different mix of personalities. People have a drink or two. They're a little more relaxed. So we'll see you on Patreon the rest of today. And then we'll see you on the Saturday night show. 8 o'clock Central is what we're going for. And I'll put up the link probably tomorrow morning or something. So plan on having a couple cold ones joining us tomorrow at 8. Man, this is fun. I love doing this show. The energy's building. Thank you, everybody. Be good.